Hi, welcome to the Year 11 Parents Information Evening for the Maths Department. In this presentation, we hope to give you some pointers on how you might be able to help your children prepare for the maths exam, and maybe some pointers for them as well on how they can help themselves prepare for the maths exam. It's been a difficult year this year, as we know. They had a disrupted end to the year 10. What we want to do is we want to provide them with a nice, calm, planned way that they can use to take themselves forward and to be able to really, be mentally prepared and actually prepared properly for these exams that are going to take place in May, June next year. Usually, I'd start off by talking about last year's grades. I'd talk about how fantastic we did, and we did, and they did really well. The kids were projected some excellent grades, but I think it's worth starting with maybe 2019 grades, because they were the last time we actually sat any exams. We achieved some fantastic grades that year. We had 10 grade 9s in the cohort. We had 74% of the students with a 4 and above, which is the new minimal pass grade. We had 52% of the kids, that's pretty way above national average, on 5 and above. And we had 19% of the pupils on a 7 above, which is again in line with national average. It was really an outstanding set of results, and that outstanding set we repeated last year as well. Also last year, 10 of our pupils achieved the level 3 algebra qualification, and level 3 algebra is sort of A-level standard. Results again were improved, and what we're really pleased with that, because what it showed is we're teaching kids above GCSE grade. We're teaching them beyond those GCSE grades. So a little bit about the way the GCSE is set up now. From 2017, basically we've gone from A star to U to the grading system of a 9 to U. So, I mean, most people are pretty comfortable and understand what's going on with that now, but just in case it's new to you, an A star, the old A star, is around a 9 or an 8 grade. Only the top 3% of pupils in the country will achieve a grade 9. So it sort of puts into perspective the number of 9s that we've been getting recently. A grade 7 is like your old A grade, so 7 and above, is really going to be a challenge for anybody, and anyone who achieves or is looking like they're going to achieve a 7 to 9 should be very proud of their work so far. A 5 is the new good pass. They call it a good pass. It's slightly more difficult than the old C. So it's around the sort of BC grade, okay? And a 4, which is the new pass grade, that's anchored at the old C, okay? Just for context, 1 is the old F grade, okay? So the structure of the tiers. Now, we're one of the last subjects to still have tiers. So some of the students will be sitting the higher exam, some of the students will be sitting the foundation exam. But as you can see, there's an overlap. Okay, higher students can get a grade. They can actually get a grade 3 up to 9, but we don't like to talk about a grade 3 higher, because that shouldn't really be happening. So higher grades stretch all the way up to 9, so they'll be really challenging. The foundation, right? They go from 1 to 5, so the pupils can in effect still get a grade 5 doing the foundation exam. Okay, most of the students will be pretty confident about which exam they're going to be sitting. But there may still be 1 or 2 that are somewhere around the 4-5 grade that possibly might be looking at, some of them will end up doing higher, some will end up doing foundation, but that will be a decision we'll leave as late in the day, really, okay? The way the course is structured, it's a linear exam, so there's no coursework. There's 3 papers, 3 written exams. The first paper is a non-calculator paper. As you can see, 80 marks, 1.5 hours. And then paper 2 and 3 are both calculator papers. And again, both 80 marks, 1.5 hours. All the papers are equally weighted. So you score in paper 1, paper 2, paper 3 are just added together, basically. There's not any sort of weighting in favour of one or the other. But it is worth pointing out that 2/3 of the exam now is calculator. What that implies is that only 1/3 of the exam is around your mental maths and your mental ability to calculate maths. The vast majority of it is your use of, well, it's not just about your use of calculator, but it's the use about they're testing your use of methods. Okay, the calculator is an important tool, but it's all about your mathematical and your numerical methods and your problem solving. Okay. Now, we've got to talk about this, unfortunately, but obviously we've had a lot of disruption for COVID. Now, the plan is we've had to plan really for the possibility of having to submit teacher assessed grades. And we'll be sitting an exam paper in class every 2 weeks that will form part of our teacher assessment. Okay, so every class in all across year 11, every 2 weeks, we're going to give them one paper in class. I mean, the good thing is this is not a new thing. We do it every year, but it has taken on a new level of importance. We're going to make sure that we keep a record of the marks, so we can see progression and we can see who's making progress. It's really all about making sure that our data is as solid as it can be, but it's also a good tool to give kids the best experience and the prep for going into actually the real exams that we hope are going to happen. Well, we're almost certainly going to happen in May and June next year. Okay, so the reason why we are planning for the reason why we're planning in this way is because we haven't been given any course changes at all. In maths, there are literally no changes. All of the content remains the same. There's no reduction in any sort of papers or any content like there are in some subjects that you may have heard about on the news. And also as well, it was just announced today that the exam dates are going to remain the same, despite some of the other exams being pushed backwards. So our exam dates are still going to be around May, June. The one thing we can say is that every school in the country is in the same boat. So, none of us have lost any content. We've all still got to cover the full course, and we're all still going to be tested on the full course. So it's not as if anyone's got any advantage over anyone else. So the exam, as I said before, is focused largely on problem solving. It's not just your ability to multiply, add, subtract, and divide. It's knowing when to do all of those things. You've got a requirement now to provide a clear mathematical argument. And the way I usually talk about that is it's like writing an essay. You're basically, when you're answering a maths question, what you're doing is you're providing, a starter and a main bit of the exam, of the question, which is like you're working out, and then your conclusion at the end, where you bring it all together and you get your final answer. So, I like to think of it as like it is the equivalent of writing an essay. There's a huge amount of content at higher and foundation level. So whichever tier they're on, all the students need to know a huge amount of content. They need to know everything about the maths. Every single day of the week, I get kids asking me about revision lists for maths. And it's very, very difficult to give anybody a revision list for maths, because the answer is you need to revise everything, all of it, everything that you've ever done. Okay, so it's one of them really difficult subjects where I can't nail it down to just a few areas. Everything that you've ever done in maths, that's what they have to revise. Obviously, there are certain topics that only appear on the higher paper, but otherwise, absolutely everything is got to be there in your head, that you've got to be able to draw out as a toolkit at any time that you need it. The big change that we've had over the last few years as well is there are no formulas given. Pretty much everything is expected to be remembered. So it's really important that the pupils are rote learning those formulas so that they can draw them out of their head when they need them. Okay, so let's look at how we can help, or how we can all help the students prepare. Well, firstly, the best thing that we can do for them at home is try and have a suitable workspace. Okay, a workspace where they can sit quietly and work without distractions. Okay, I often suggest taking the students maybe putting their phones off, turning all their electronic devices off, and putting their phones to one side to make sure that they're fully focused on the work. But the best thing that we can do is provide that workspace for them at home, or if it's not able to happen at home, it's all equally sort of useful to have a space in the library, or even work after school, stay behind after school and stay in some of the revision sessions. what I always encourage them to do is work on their targets. The pupils all get a huge amount of information about maths. They know exactly what they're good at, exactly what they're bad at, exactly what they need to work on. They need to work on their targets, though. They don't need to work on all of the things that they're really, really good at. Okay, it's most important that they're identifying their needs and they're working on those things. It's I lose absolute count of the number of students that tell me how much revision they're doing, and when they show me it, it's things that they can do easily. And I ask them why they're spending so much of their time working on things that they can do, when they really should be focusing on those things that we've already identified for them. But you know what it's like. People like to be in a comfort zone and like to be in a groove of doing things that they're good at, and it makes them feel better. But unfortunately, it doesn't teach them anything. Encourage them to attend revision sessions after school as well. We will have revision sessions coming. Set 11C1, 11T1 have started. 11C2 will be starting after the October half term, and as will other sets as well. So encourage them to stay after school. Homework is really important. We set regular homework. We've been setting regular homework since they've been in year 7, and it doesn't lose its importance. If anything, obviously it gains importance in year 11. They should be completing their homework, and they should be completing some independent study. And also as well, we're lucky in maths. We have a huge amount of online revision tools that the pupils can access. We'll be talking about one of them later on. But the online revision is there to provide that crutch when we're not there. They can sit at home, they can watch tutorials and videos on how to do particular topics, and they can follow out with questions that they, to practice that they've learned those topics. But it's really important that they make use of the online revision. Okay, so we'll be running Monday night revision drop-ins for pupils who just want that little bit of extra. We'll also be running a few weeks of exam revision sessions in class in the run up to the mock exams, which I'm going to talk about later. And also as well, the kids will get very, very detailed feedback from the mocks, which will be personalised and detailed to help them do what I was talking about a minute ago. Really help them pick out those topics that they need to focus on, rather than spending their valuable revision time just focusing on things that they're already good at. One of those tools that pupils will be getting is this. So after the mocks, we'll be spending a lot of time doing really detailed analysis of the mock. And what we'll get back is, for every single paper, is a breakdown of exactly what the pupils got right and what they got wrong. And you can probably tell that the green bits are what they got right. The red bits are the questions that they got wrong, and the yellow bits, they may have got a partial mark, so they will got 1 mark out of 4 for this. And every single pupil will get one of these for each of the papers that they've sat. Now, in terms of what to do with it, probably the best thing to do with it is to take it home, to pin it up somewhere, and to basically use this as a revision tool. So if you look at this particular one, question 4, rounding numbers to the nearest thousand, this particular pupil got that question wrong. So what they'll be doing, or what they should be doing, is they should be going along to this column here where it says clip number. And this clip number is related to Hegarty Maths, which every pupil in our school is subscribed to. And if they have got a question wrong, what they can do is go to this video here, video number 17, just type that in the search bar, and they'll be able to watch a tutorial video on rounding numbers. And what they'll also be able to do is they'll then be able to answer a set of questions that will practice whether they've understood how to round numbers. Okay, and then they can do exactly the same for fractions of amount. And again, a couple of videos here that are tied to this question. And this should really give them the tools to be able to answer these gaps here. Okay. And again, what we can do is we can work down from the top and just tick them off as we go, cross them off, and then that is pretty much your revision, absolutely boxed off for you. Okay. Talking about Hegarty Maths, I don't really need to share this, but I like to put it out there for everybody. The Hegarty Maths website, there's the link. It's an online revision and homework tool which we've been using, certainly with your kids for the last 2 years. All the videos are linked. They're all absolutely amazing. They all give you an explanation of exactly how to do a skill, and they will give you an opportunity to actually test that skill as well. What I love most about it is the questions are pretty much exam style, and they're marked straight away. So all of the pupils will know what they've got right, what they've got wrong, and how to improve on that. Okay. Just a quick slide about attitude. We we really like Year 11. They're an interesting bunch. Really nice, but what they achieve over the next year is going to come down to attitude. If they've got the right attitude and they are focused and hard working, they will do well. Okay, they've got the skills, they've got the tools, they've got all of the things that all of the toolkit that we've given to them. But if they provide the right attitude, this this group could absolutely fly. We could project them some absolutely amazing results. So as difficult as a year as it's been, could be an absolutely amazing set of results for the school if the kids can regain the right attitude. And one of those things is being planned. Okay, um, it's they need to be able to put together a revision plan, and the way they can do that is using the tools that we've given them from the feedback from the exams. I'm a great believer that maths revision shouldn't be done, hours at a time. It should be little and often. It should be half an hour here and there. It shouldn't be 2, 3, 4 hours of sitting there with a textbook, staring at it and just reading it. That is not effective maths revision. Maths revision should be little and often, and it should also, as I've said so many times before, target an areas of weakness where you don't get stuck in a bubble of what you're good at and just going over and over the things that you're already good at. All right. Probably the most important advice I can give is that you must mark your work at the end of your revision and identify the bits that you got wrong and then go away and fix them. All right. I really will stress again though, it should be able to be done in half an hour. It's not something that you should be sitting there for 2 hours at a time doing. Half an hour, 3, 4 times a week is better than 1 or 2 2-hour blocks, in my opinion. Right? It's the kind of thing that you should be revisiting all the time and making sure that it's drilled over and over again. Okay. Okay. The most important thing, lots and lots of exam practice. Okay. What we want you to do is go away, do loads of papers, right? Do them again and again and again until you get them right. Okay. Don't forget to get them marked by your teacher or check them against the mark scheme. Right. And again, there's a couple of good resources up there where you can pull out a load of exam papers. Okay. We'll also provide you with exam papers. So if you need more, just come in and ask. Okay, a few key dates for you just to finish. The mock series is going to be November and December. It's a whole school mock series, so you'll be pretty much doing every subject around then. We have special mocks in February and March, usually just for English and maths. So you'll be getting a second mock in English and maths in February, March. As you can probably tell, they're going to take on an extra level of importance this year. So it's important that the pupils are as prepared as they possibly can be. And then finally, the last date that we've not got nailed down yet, but I'm sure the government will release them soon, where we have the May 2020 May paper 1, and then in June we have papers 2 and 3. The May paper is usually the first week before the half term, and then paper 2 and 3 are usually the first week back after the half term. Okay, as I said earlier, we don't foresee any changes, so we think that it's going to be that sort of time again. Okay, and then finally, just remember that we are here to help. If you need to contact me at all, my email's address there, and just basically the best thing we can do now for the kids is to encourage them to work as hard as they can in the run up to the mocks in November and December, and then continue that work rate right the way through until May, June. And I'm sure as I said earlier, I'm sure we can have every success for this year group. Okay, so thanks very much for listening. And as I said, if there's anything else I can help with, just get in touch, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.